Hello, this is Alice Moscaritolo, postdoctoral fellow at BECO. I will present together with Anne Dupuy, Pierre Ratinaud, Chantal Zaouche Gaurdon from the University of Toulouse Jaurès, and Amalia Martinez from the University of Toulouse III, Paul Sabatier, France, a contribution to the WPRN21 conference entitled Parenting and Homeschooling in Diverse Family Settings with Young Children during the first COVID-19 lockdown in France. Embedded in the larger research program are a specific work group aimed to document the unequal constraints during the first French lockdown for diverse family settings. In response to an online questionnaire, 490 people with children aged 6 or under were retained for analysis. We focus here on 36 single parents and 19 families with children in shared residence. Our research methods include both quantitative and qualitative analysis. Single-parent families are more often headed by employees, workers, and domestic aides. Unemployment is more frequent. Degrees are lower, and revenues considerably lower. In fact, 53% felt not at all comfortable financially. Single-parent families have mainly an only child. As for housing, several variables are significant: mixed dwelling, living in an apartment, and having smaller homes. When it comes to families with children in shared residence, the gender ratio changes. Men make up 32% of the respondents. Also, parents with children in shared residence are more often unmarried, confined without a partner, live in a flat, and continued working during lockdown. The amount of time spent each day on homeschooling by partners of respondents with children in shared residence was higher. 26% spent 2 to 4 hours per day, even if missing information on time spent by partners was also more important. Single parents perceived more pressure on how to care for their children during lockdown. Also, they declared to be more in need of information regarding education, namely rules and prohibitions. Parent-child relationships more frequently altered during lockdown. Mainly, they strengthened, and significantly more than in two-parent families. Single parents perceived more often difficulty during lockdown in controlling the important things in their lives and in managing personal problems. Our qualitative data shows that organizing family life occupied single-parent families primarily in terms of difficult work-life balance and in terms of time management. The relationships outside the family were mainly cited in terms of absence of social ties for children, a lack which is resounding in the children's own verbatins. If leisure and cultural activities are spoken of mostly in positive terms, homeschooling was mainly mentioned as a source of complications, conflicts, and pressure. For those who mentioned an increase in screen time, it was overall contained and reasonable. Our quantitative and qualitative analyses are corroborated by other research studying single parenthood in relation to COVID-19. In addition to pre-existing precarious conditions for most single-parent families, mainly lone mothers, social, economic and psychological burdens during lockdown may have made parenting and homeschooling challenging. Schools seem to have contributed very little to maintain remotely social ties. We found similar constraints in families with children in shared residence, as for the family structure and housing conditions, even if they had to cope with the additional burden of working more often during lockdown. Moreover, a gender bias could in part explain the higher support in homeschooling by partners. Therefore, we suggest public authorities should pay particular attention to the specific constraints faced by families with young children in other settings than the average household, to which public policy and expertise implicitly still refer to. An overview of our references: and of the members of the larger consortium. Thank you for your attention.